A 5-year-old girl disappears in just 5 minutes, but investigators soon discover something far more disturbing, a 3-hour gap in the family's timeline that no one can fully explain. What really happened to Summer Wells? On June 15, 2021, 5-year-old Summer Wells vanished from her home in Rogersville, Tennessee. She was last seen wearing a pink shirt and gray sweatpants, possibly barefoot. Her mother, Candace Bly, said Summer had been outside helping with some gardening before wanting to go inside and play with her brothers. Candace walked Summer to the front door and told the boys to watch their sister. She then stepped away for just 2 to 5 minutes to help her own mother with a knee brace. When she returned, Summer was gone. The basement door led outside, and the child had simply disappeared. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation launched an extensive search effort involving over 100 agencies from 6 different states. They searched on foot and from the air using canine units and thermal imaging technology. Despite covering more than 3,000 acres of dense woodland, they found no trace of the little girl. The case quickly became one of the most puzzling and frustrating investigations in recent memory. Law enforcement officials initially believed Summer would be found within a day. They brought in an overwhelming number of resources, including helicopters, search dogs, and hundreds of volunteers. The Tennessee Highway Patrol provided aerial support, and specialized technology was used to detect body heat at night. The search area expanded to 4.6 square miles, with many locations being searched multiple times. Church Hill Rescue Squad. Captain Tim Coop told searchers they were looking for a small child who could be hiding in spaces as tiny as a folded laptop. He urged them to check barns, sheds, and hay fields. As days passed and no trace of Summer appeared, the focus of the investigation began to shift. The TBI announced they had not ruled out foul play, but maintained they believed Summer had wandered off. This position directly contradicted what Summer's parents were saying. Don and Candace Wells insisted from the very beginning that their daughter had been abducted and would never have left the property on her own. Candace Bly's actions on June 15th have become a central focus of the investigation. She began the day by waking Summer early to drive her mother to the hospital for knee treatment. The three of them left around 7:30 a.m., leaving Summer's 3 young brothers at home alone. Candace said she locked the house to keep them safe. While waiting at the hospital, she contacted a 15-year-old boy named Hunter, a family friend, and arranged to visit his home with Summer. They spent hours running errands, stopping at tobacco stores, pharmacies, and a grocery store. They also visited a swimming hole where Candace posted a video of Summer on TikTok at 12:21 p.m. Hunter later claimed Candace shared alcohol and nicotine vapes with him. Candace denied this, insisting she would never provide such things to a minor. The group eventually returned home around 3:16 p.m., nearly 8 hours after they had left. The timeline of June 15th is filled with inconsistencies and missing gaps. Candace claims the entire day consisted of a hospital visit, a few quick stops, and a short swim. However, the math does not add up. 8 hours passed between leaving home and returning. Even accounting for waiting at the hospital and running errands, there remains significant unaccounted time. Hunter stated they spent about an hour at the grocery store, while Candace insisted she was inside for only 5 minutes. A neighbor recalled hearing Candace calling Summer's name around 6 p.m., suggesting the child may have been missing much earlier than reported. The 911 call was not made until 6:30 p.m. That leaves a 3-hour window between arriving home and calling for help. During that time, Candace said she put away groceries, did laundry, and helped Summer plant succulents. None of these activities would have taken 3 hours to complete. The layout of the Wells family home plays a critical role in understanding how Summer disappeared. The house is a small, cluttered structure of just 750 square feet, nestled on an 11-acre wooded property. The basement, where Summer was reportedly playing when she vanished, is not accessed by a standard staircase. Instead, one must crawl under a desk into a cramped opening to reach the lower level. This basement served as a bedroom for Summer and her parents. It was filled with toys, clothing, and household items. An exterior door in the basement leads directly to the backyard. Candace stated that Summer sometimes used this door to go outside and run around to the front swing. On the day she disappeared, the door was not locked. If Summer exited through this door, she would have been on the side of the house facing away from the grandmother's trailer. She would have been out of sight of both her mother and grandmother in just moments. Hunter, the 15-year-old family friend, became a key witness in the investigation. His relationship with Candace raised many questions. Social media exchanges between them showed an unusual dynamic. Candace made crude jokes with the teenager, and he responded as if speaking to a peer. They discussed relationships in a manner that seemed inappropriate for a 30-something woman and a minor. Candace referred to Hunter as her homie. Hunter claimed he viewed Summer as a little sister because her own brothers were not always kind to her. He said he wanted to show her how a real big brother would treat her. On the day Summer vanished, Hunter spent hours with Candace and the child. He accompanied them to the park, the pharmacy, and the grocery store. He was present when Candace purchased a twisted tea, which he said she shared with him. He was also there when Summer went underwater in the swimming hole. Hunter described a concerning moment at the swimming hole. He said Summer went underwater and did not resurface immediately. He became worried and jumped into the water to pull her up. He estimated she was submerged for about 4 to 5 seconds. When he brought her to the surface, she coughed and laughed. He said she seemed unharmed. Candace and her mother were distracted during this time, looking for flowers to pick. Hunter stated he was the one watching Summer closely while the adults were occupied. This incident has led to speculation that Summer may have drowned earlier in the day. However, the video taken at 3:09 p.m. shows Summer sleeping in the car, very much alive. Her appearance in that footage does not indicate a recent drowning. The swimming hole event may have been a close call, but it was not the cause of her disappearance. The milk jug video is one of the most important pieces of evidence in this case. It was taken at 3:09 p.m. on the day Summer vanished. The footage shows the 5-year-old asleep in the back of the car, slumped against several jugs of milk. Her hands are relaxed, her face has color, and she appears to be simply napping. Candace explained that she wanted to take a picture because Summer was sleeping with her arms raised, a position reminiscent of her father. She said her mother accidentally hit the record button instead of taking a photo. The video proves that Summer was alive at 3:09 p.m., well after the swimming hole visit. It also establishes her location at that specific moment. However, the video also raises questions about Summer's exhaustion. She had been awake since early morning and had not eaten a meal all day. The sleepiness may indicate neglect rather than something more sinister. A woman who knew Candace described a troubling incident involving discipline. She said she attended a birthday party where Candace's sons were playing in a pool. The boys were getting rough, as children sometimes do. Candace became angry and ordered them out of the water. She made the wet boys lie down on the hot asphalt driveway. It was a hot summer day, and the blacktop was burning to the touch. The woman said the boys could have been seriously burnt. Candace reportedly laughed about the punishment. The grandmother also laughed. The witness was so disturbed that she emptied the pool and refused to interact with Candace for the rest of the evening. She stated she had never seen such behavior from a parent. This incident paints a picture of a mother who used extreme measures to discipline her children. It also suggests a lack of concern for their well-being and comfort. Don Wells has remained a figure of intense speculation throughout the investigation. He claimed he was working 40 minutes away in Jonesboro on the day Summer vanished. He said he received a call from his wife around 3 p.m. and decided to stay at work since no one would be home. This statement was questionable because his 3 young sons were actually home alone. Don also claimed he arrived at the house before law enforcement, despite being 40 minutes away. This was later proven false. He consistently emphasized his alibi, stating he had GPS tracking in the car to prove his location. He specifically chose to drive his wife's new vehicle to work that day, a car equipped with a tracking system. He has been arrested on unrelated charges and is currently in prison. His past contains disturbing details that may connect to Summer's disappearance. Don repeatedly insisted his daughter was abducted and refused to consider any other explanation.